So every other person will join us while we start from here. My name is Adeni Jazz. I'm going to be your anchor for this seminar. So though I believe some of us have one or two ideas of must have had one or two things about what I'm about to discuss, but this is going to be a very good eye opener, and you will definitely get to have one or two things to pick from here. I'm an IT professional of over 10 years precisely, and I've been a network person, I've been a system admin, I've been a project manager, I've been a programmer, I've been a software developer. So I've worked around different facets of IT. So from this perspective, I'm going to be taking us through what DevOps is and why everyone is embracing DevOps. So what is DevOps? DevOps. So by definition, DevOps is a set of practices that works to automate and integrate the process between software development and operations. In software development, there's a process that every company, every business out there face to move product from conceptualization to actualization. And all these things take processes. So the processes we are talking about here is what we call the SDLC, which is the software development life cycle. And what is software development life cycle? Software development life cycle is a process used by software industry to design, develop, and test high quality software. Because software has gone beyond, okay, probably some of us that come from a computer science background, you have someone who called himself a programmer, and this guy just does everything. But software is actually more than that. Because software is like you giving product or you trying to put a product together to satisfy the need of a customer or a client. So in software development, there are stages and there are processes. The first stage is the requirement stage, where we do requirement analysis, where we write user stories, where we do documentations. And part of these user stories are going to be questions. Questions are going to be asked: to what purpose will this software or this app, to what purpose will it serve everyone? Or what purpose will it provide? Or what problem is it going to solve for end users? So when all these things are put together, we take it to the people in design, the UI, the UX person. The UI designer designs something very, very sweet and cool that could be handled. So while the experience of the UX person comes in, the UX person gets to like, okay, put it in the best form that is going to be much more convenient for a user to perceive. So after this stage, we get to put this together, push to the developers who get to develop the software. They write the codes, put the codes together. Then from there, we'll take it to the testers who test to see that, okay, this actually meets the requirement. Then the process go all over again. We get feedback and we reiterate the process. So there's a method that is very popular out there that a lot of people, please, is everyone here with me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to be sure that everyone is following. So there's a method that we use in the software industry. We call this method waterfall method. It is a project methodology whereby every stage, every department within the software organization do their job, take it to the next person in line. The requirement people put this requirement together, they take it to the designers, the designer design, they push to the developers. The developers take their own time to do the same thing. The developers push to the testers test, give feedback, and the whole loop starts all over again till products are being delivered. But there's one thing, and that thing is that there's always a problem. There's a disadvantage to this waterfall method. There's high failure rate. High failure rate in the sense that feedback gets timed to be reported. And most times when feedback gets reported, they are in bulk. Feedback must have been, the problem must have been somewhere around somewhere that may be very difficult to trace or to track back for a developer who is actually working on something else. So that is one of the shortfall of waterfall methods. And that thing is that it takes a whole lot of time for projects to be delivered to the end users. And that thing is that it takes a whole recovery rate, a high recovery rate, to be able to at least probably go back to a previous state I was working and move on. So those are the kind of problem that waterfall methodology brings about. So like they say, there's a popular saying that says, okay, you guys, okay, I want to remember this saying that necessity is the mother of invention. So what is necessary here? If waterfall method is giving all this problem, and this is the only method that was that very much popular for software development companies. So something came up, the agile method. The agile method is a method that gets to do jobs in modules, get to iterate processes, and get to put deliveries as small as possible. So what do I mean by this agile method? For some of us who are developers, projects are divided into smaller modules, and these smaller modules are releases that can be delivered from time to time. Agile uses Scrum, Kanban, and different methods. Scrum is a very popular idea out there that within 2 weeks, there should be a deliverable and there should be a stand-up to give update to every part of the team. So Agile is all about collaboration. Agile is all about communication and instant feedback that everybody gets to start the project from the same phase all together. Everybody works together, and there's no lay down time that, okay, you guys have to take 2 months to do your own work before you give it to the developers. Developers will take another 1 month to do their work before they give it to testers, and all kind of problems like that can be well resolved with Agile. So when am I talking about Agile? It was Agile that brought about the idea of DevOps. So let me move on from here. Why are companies taking up on Agile? There are so many advantages of Agile to basically all organizations out there. Because with Agile, things are, you can get to see results as soon as possible. And it saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of stress. So that's the reason why a lot of companies are adopting Agile. And with Agile, you can't do Agile without DevOps. It's like DevOps principle, DevOps philosophy, DevOps method, it is what really makes Agile Agile. It is what makes sense out of Agile. So DevOps is not just a profession, it's not just an area of IT. DevOps is a practice, it is a method, it is a way of life. So why are companies adopting DevOps now? Why most companies, the banks, the manufacturing industries who use softwares, think about it. Everyone is using DevOps just because DevOps brings about better agility. Because instantly when there's a commit to code repo, as soon as you get commit to the code repo, testings are carried out, feedback are given immediately. Then things that need to be corrected are corrected within the shortest period of time. And there's deliverables immediately to probably a staging environment. And from the staging environment, these things can even be automated to take into the production environment. So it brings about better agility and it makes things to make more sense to a lot of people that are working in the software industry. Another advantage about DevOps is that it brings about accelerated innovation. Okay, for example, someone comes with a new requirement or someone comes with an idea that can be a new feature to a particular software that is already running. So with Agile, with DevOps, as a result of Agile, so these codes can be committed, tested, and instantly be moved to the appropriate place where it's going to be serving the end users, the customers. Another advantage of DevOps is that it boosts product quality because of testing. Testing can be done in automated fashion. You can put test script that gets to check codes structurally, ideologically, and syntactically. This script can check all those codes to see that these codes are very, very okay and they are fine. Then they can move from there to the next phase. So it boosts product quality with that. Another thing is that it reduces failure. Because in DevOps, there's something we call linting. And I'm going to be talking about some of these things very soon. Linting are some of those things, tools that need to be put in place to check codes for you. Because yes, if we have like 5 developers here, let me say I give you an assignment now that, okay, I need you guys to write me a script or a code that I can find the even numbers between 1 to 100. I'm very sure that by the time you guys write, different people come up with their own code. It's going to be different structurally. But one thing is that, yes, everybody can get that right. Everybody will write a script that will do the calculation, I'll display these even numbers within 1 to 100. But structurally, there may be defects. And this defects brings about bugs on the late, I mean, in future when codes are being put under pressure or under use. So that is the reason why DevOps gets to reduce failures from it gets to get the problems as soon as they are being committed into repo, as soon as these codes are being pushed. So that's another advantage of DevOps. And that one I'm going to be talking about is that accelerated recovery. With DevOps, if we push out a code out there, or we push out a particular software product and it's working fine, no problem. What if there's a mistake from someone within the team that have probably put something somewhere within the code pipeline? If something like that happens, there's very easy way to do it, whereby the recovery can be accelerated automatically, in the sense that we can revert back to a working state. Yes, we have a new feature. This feature is a very good idea. It's going to really, it's going to bring a lot of traffic to our website, or it's going to bring a lot of customers to the product. But there's a problem with it. So it's very, very easy with DevOps that we can move to a working condition that was previously working before a new update that crashed the whole thing. So that's one thing under advantage with DevOps. So this takes me to the question that who is a DevOps engineer, or who is a DevOps professional? A DevOps engineer is more like a midfielder in a 4-4-2 formation on a football pitch. What do I mean by this? A DevOps person gets to stand in the middle. You get to stand in the middle to work with the quality assurance, the QA people, the people who get to test the whole project, the whole product. You get to stand in the middle for developers, because as a DevOps person, you are going to be the one managing the repo. You'll be the one to set up the testing environment. You'll be the one to set up the staging environment. You will also be the person to set up the production environment. Apart from that, you are going to have a eye on security architecture of your organization, because you have to be aware of the requirements. You have to be aware of the hierarchy. You have to be aware of virtually all the security parameters or apparatus of within the organization, or within what product you are working with. So that is what the DevOps person is. And with this diagram in front of you here, you can see the connection. Everyone gets to work with the DevOps person. The DevOps person gets to be at the middle, and you can't do without a DevOps person. If you are doing software with agile practice, you can't do without a DevOps person. And even if you are a developer, you must have a DevOps idea. If you are a tester, you must have the ideology of DevOps. Everybody gets to live this thing. Everybody gets to do it all together. You can't leave anyone apart. But you all depend on the DevOps person at the center of the whole process. So by definition, a DevOps engineer is somebody who understands the software development lifecycle and has the outright understanding of various automation tools for developing digital pipelines. So what does this mean? Yes, you will not always be there when everybody gets to commit their code. You will not always be there when everybody gets to test the product. You may not be there when the IT admin gets to put in a new server or gets to remove a switch. You may not be there, but you need to understand the software development lifecycle and how to create a CI/CD pipeline, a continuous integration and continuous deployment or continuous delivery pipeline that can handle things even while you're sleeping. So a DevOps engineer works with developers and the IT staff to oversee the code releases. There are either developers who get interested in deployment and network operations, or a system admin who have passion for scripting and coding and all that. But I don't want to go too technical into this, just because anybody can get to know how this works. Yes, that is a very much possibility, just because we are going to be working with tools. But how far you go, or the level at which you operate, is all about the kind of tools you use and how you understand the working paradigm of these tools themselves. So that is the level at which you are in DevOps, or as a DevOps engineer. So I'll quickly talk about stages in DevOps. There are 4 stages in DevOps. The first stage is the version control. What is version control? Version control maintains different versions of code. Organizations do have 2 or more developers. Some companies like Google have up to 2,000 or more, according to report lately. So they have a lot of developers that are working on different projects. So 2 or 3 persons can be working on the same project. We need to know who is doing what at the moment. Every code that someone writes needs to be given a stamp. These stamps will let us know if something goes wrong, where the problem is coming from. So version control is very, very important. And there are tools that we use for that. We are going to talk about those tools that we use specifically for that. So we call these tools source code management tools. The second stage in DevOps is continuous integration, where we compile these codes, where we validate the code. That is where I was talking about relating previously, where you get to check this code. You review this code, you review everything, you see that, okay, it's good structurally, this thing won't mess up somewhere, or someone didn't just write anything, just like that, because it works, everyone would accept it, which would end up causing problems somewhere. So what we call that stage, we call it a continuous integration stage, where continuous build are being done instantly. When someone comes, if you have 100 people in our team committing to the same repo or working on the same project, as soon as there's a pull request, integration is being done. And this are even done in some areas automatically, whereby once codes are being committed to repo, these codes are taken through the pipeline, checked, tested, moved to where they belong. So the third stage is continuous delivery. At this stage, deploying the build application to test servers, where we perform UAT. What is UAT? UAT is user assessment test. User assessment test. So this is where the QA people work, where manual testing are being done. And they are not just being done, they are being done on an environment that is similar to the production environment. So that even if anything is going to happen at all, we would foresee the occurrence. So this environment will simulate the production environment, will simulate the production server, will simulate the production architecture. So different tests can be conducted here. Tests like performance testing can be done here, and the penetration testing can also be done here to check, okay, these things would stand if there's a hacker somewhere trying to spam on the system, or someone is there trying to hack into the system, or trying to do a metasploit that would break the system. So all those things can be done in the continuous delivery stage, where different testing are being carried out. We call it continuous testing. And to enable continuous testing, if you are not doing manual, to properly enable continuous testing, what you need is automated testing, where you use the likes of Selenium and some of them in that category. So lastly, the last stage is continuous deployment. So deploying the tested application on the production server for release. So what we call this configuration management and containerization. That is where orchestration happens. And continuous monitoring gets to have a eye on everything. Feedbacks are being reported, and instantly someone who is responsible will attend to it as soon as possible, and the whole process move on. So why would I say, okay, why would I advise anybody to choose a career in DevOps? There are so many reasons why I'll say that, just because a whole lot of companies out there are adopting DevOps methodology. A whole lot of companies. Any company that is still not adopting DevOps methodology now is probably living in the old days, would not be able to compete with other companies around. So why would I ask you to want to, okay, what reason would I want to give you to learn DevOps? There are so many reasons I want to give you for that. One of those things is that anyone can learn to be a DevOps developer. And that thing I'm going to tell you is that, yes, DevOps is one of the highest paying career in IT. It's one of the highest paying career in IT, because someone is needed somewhere. And a lot of companies are adopting, startups, tech companies, fintech companies, agrotech, name them. Everyone is adopting DevOps just because these guys want to do releases as small, as soon, as fast as possible. The another thing is that there's fast career growth within DevOps. You can join DevOps circle as probably as a, let me say, an intern within a month or two, and within a month or 2 or 3, you are already at the intermediate level. Within a month of 3, 4, 5, you are already at a senior level because materials and resources are just there for you to work with. And the more you work, the more you get experience, and you get to reiterate your whole process all over again. So another thing is that it exposes you to trending tools. There are a lot of tools out there that is making the job of DevOps to be easier and fun. So let's go into this one after the other. DevOps practitioners are among the highest paid IT professionals today. That is just the truth. If you check itjobswatch.co.uk, in the UK now, DevOps developers are earning between, on the average, £60,000 and even above £100,000 now. It's something we can even corroborate ourselves. Let's check online to see how much DevOps developers, DevOps engineers or professionals are earning out there as of today. I want to do that on Google, and you can also do that yourself too. So I think you can see my screen. So let's just check this together. It's something you can do on your own. DevOps salary in the UK. So you're saying on the average is £72,500. But let's check for someone who's thinking about the US or someone who is in the US. The average salary is $135,000 on the average. And per hour rate is $69. But on that level is that you can even earn as high as $200,000. But that is in the US. That is what is obtainable somewhere in Canada. That is what is obtainable around Dubai. But let's come to Nigeria, where we have people who are also doing DevOps. There's a site I want you to check. You can check getdev.co. That is where you are going to get, you can see different adverts of jobs and the rate at which they are paying for such jobs. And these are the listings that are still open as of today. There's remote senior full stack. Okay, that is a full stack. Let me look at the categories for DevOps. So for intermediate, there's a role opening here in Lagos for intermediate DevOps person, and this job is willing to pay 250,000 to 400,000. And there are so many other ones like that are even paying as high as 500,000. And they, for senior role in Nigeria now, it's paying between 700,000 to 800,000. These are openings that you can check out and apply if you are in the field as of now. So let's go back to other things we've been talking about. So that is what is obtainable. It is one of the highest paying career in IT now. So another thing is that it is easy to get a DevOps job, just because there's a lot of demand for DevOps professional that is out there. If you check, okay, probably we should just check that together now. Because if you look at LinkedIn, look at the rate at which jobs are dropping every day on LinkedIn for DevOps professional. It is higher than any other areas of IT. It's just because of the importance that is being attached to this role and how valuable this role is. I was checking this morning for the number of openings that are available now for DevOps professional, and I'm seeing around 135,000 openings. So I cross-checked again for network engineers. I can see that there were just 32,000 openings worldwide for network engineers, whereby there are about 132,000 for DevOps openings worldwide. So it shows you that the net is very, very wide. There are a lot of people are very much interested in DevOps, and companies now are embracing DevOps in every part of the. So what other advantage again is that you become more valuable to any company you are working with. Probably if you are working as a network person or you are working as a system admin, by embracing DevOps or getting to know about DevOps, having the knowledge, having the skill, you have become automatically valuable. And with that, you are going to become indispensable. The reason why I'm saying you become indispensable is just because for every DevOps person, for any software company at all, a DevOps person is very is needed, because from the onset, you are going to be the one to create the environment. In some instances, you be the one to create the repo, share the authentication keys and all that with everyone that needs to work, give everybody their rights, the permissions that they need to work with. So from the beginning of the whole process to the end, you are very much needed. So that's the reason why it is very difficult. One of the most difficult roles to fill is a DevOps role. And these are verifiable facts that are out there online that you and I can check out. It's one of the most difficult, because if you have someone at the heart of your own operations and this person is pulling out or moving on onto something else, it's always difficult to fill, because yes, so for anybody to understand the structure, the infrastructure and all that, it might take a whole lot of time. Another thing about this is that it helps to separate yourself from the crowd. If you ask a lot of people now, if among every one of us that are in this room now, if you ask us that, okay, how many of us have had or know something about Java? I've written Java at a point in time. Yes, a lot of us might say, okay, yes, I've written Java at a point in time. But with DevOps gets to even separate you from the crowd. If you're a DevOps person with DevOps knowledge, you are different from a normal Java developer. Because if you're a DevOps developer who is writing Java, yes, you'll be talking about containerization, which is the thing now. But someone who is a Java developer who doesn't know anything or who has not embraced DevOps will not know about containerization, but that is the world we are. The person is still living in the past. So with DevOps, you get to separate yourself from a whole lot of people. If you're a system admin, you're a network engineer, I don't want to know any area of IT you are. By the time you get to embrace DevOps, you probably have some knowledge, you have certification, you have training, you have technical knowledge about how to use some of these tools. You have automatically separated yourself, because some of the things, some of the processes that people take, like manual processes to do, you are going to be putting a script that will do these things automatically, thereby saving time, saving cost, and a whole lot of things. Another advantage is that anyone can learn DevOps. There are lots of materials out there to learn DevOps. There are lots of materials, and then lots of people are helping. Their communities whereby you can get help to learn some of these things. If you have problem, you can ask one or two persons to help you out. People will be willing to help you out, because it is the thing. A lot of people are embracing it, and that is how IT is working now. So if you are coming as a developer, you are coming as a tester, you are coming as a system admin, or an IT support person, a computer engineer, you can pick this thing up and get to know it. It's that easy. Though it's not easy, but with commitment, you get to know everything about this. At least you be knowledgeable to some extent to be able to take challenges and solve problems. One last thing I want to talk about, the reason for me to convince you that, okay, yes, you should embrace DevOps, is that you can work from home, work from anywhere. Your infrastructures are on the cloud. And at the same time, yes, you can manage infrastructures on premise, or you are running hybrid infrastructure. At home, you can set up your configurations. At home, you can work from you can work remotely. That's the advantage. Compared to the traditional aspect of IT, network engineers, there are still limitations. IT support, there are still limitations to working remotely. But with DevOps, you can decide to see you want to work from home, and nothing will stop you. And checking, if you want to check that, for example, if you are the type that is looking for a job, a remote job right now, you are looking for a remote job on LinkedIn. Let me open LinkedIn. So if you open LinkedIn, you check for DevOps roles, it will ask you for location. So once you click on this location, type remote. Let me click on jobs. You click on jobs, DevOps. you are going to get the option there, remote. So instantly when you click on remote, it will show you all the available jobs that are remote, DevOps jobs that are remote, so that you can work from anywhere. And there are about 1,663 openings right now that you can apply for if you meet the requirements, remotely, strictly remote. So those are the advantage of getting to work as a DevOps person. You can be at your home working remotely. Even yes, I've seen a lot of companies now, IT companies in Nigeria that are into software development or having products, have products out there, startups. A lot of them have time to work remote. Some of them give you like 3 or 2 days to work remotely. And as a matter of fact, they know you can actually do the job from home. So this gives you a lot of flexibility to do a whole lot of things. Another idea that came to mind is that, yes, I know some people that are here in Nigeria, but working for some companies outside Nigeria. And I know some people that, another thing some of our guys do here is that they get someone who is in the US to get them the job. Why they transfer the job to them, they do it here, and they push back. So what those people do is that, where they are in Nigeria but earning in the US, paying commissions to the person who is actually picking up the tech and answering the calls. So these are kind of things that happen within the DevOps community in Nigeria, of guys who are into DevOps. You can decide to say, okay, you want to work from home. You don't want to work with any Nigerian company, or you just want to do something at your own convenience. DevOps is an area to hide. And at the same time, when you are doing it, nobody is watching over your shoulder in as much you are pushing your tax. And these things, the tax are moving. So everyone smile. There's communication instant, because what you do is going to be, you are going to be getting instant feedback for everything you work with. So the point is that with DevOps, it gives you the advantage to work from home, from anywhere. So what are the job functions of a DevOps person? Is it planning? Is it coding? Is it compiling? Is it testing? Is it release? Yes, a DevOps person should work with all these things, should have knowledge of all these things. It's not that you're a core person writing the codes, or you are a core person, the business person writing the plans, or the tester. But as a matter of fact, your input is needed everywhere. So let's take this task one after the other and see what is at stake. One of those things is that you are going to be a system admin. That is one of the tasks of a DevOps person. And if you look at jobs out there, if you look at job descriptions, you are going to get some of this information listed. Another thing is that you are going to be deploying virtualization. Virtualization here is that you are going to be deploying a subnet, most likely in the cloud. You are going to be setting up gateways, most likely in the cloud. You are going to be setting up VPNs. You are going to be setting buckets. You are going to be setting securities. You are going to be setting a whole lot of things in the virtual cloud. But this thing exists in your head. This thing is real. And you get to put everything together to work. Another thing is that, which is part of the job task of a DevOps engineer, is that you must have a hands-on experience with networking and storage. Yes, a lot of people have one or two knowledge. A lot of us in here have knowledge about networking and storage. So that is handy too. That is what you do normally. It's still the same thing you're still going to be doing as a DevOps person. But it's not just going to be limited to that. You are going to have a 360-degree view of the whole process. Another thing as a DevOps person is that you are going to be writing some codes. Yes, you should not be scared of writing codes, because these codes can make your life easy. Writing bash script to repeat a process, iterate a process that will cost you a lot of time trying to do it manually. Writing codes to do those jobs save you a lot of time and stress. As a matter of fact, if you are working with 2 or 3 companies, or working with a company, you can use your codes over time. You can use it repeatedly. The same infrastructure code you have for a staging environment is still the same infrastructure code you are going to be pushing out for the production environment. So what you only need to do is tweaks here, tweaks there. But as a matter of fact, you may already have everything you need to work with. So that is the reason why you have one or two, you have some people have one or two or more jobs at hand doing it all together. So, but it is in stages. And I think for you as a DevOps person is that you should have soft skills, because as a DevOps person, you are an advocate of Agile. Agile is all about collaboration and communication. For developers to set up, to start working, they will come to you, tell you, yeah, we need you to set up an environment for us. You need to talk to them. Okay, what do you guys want to do? What are your expectations? You guys talk, you like has you move on from there. And that thing is that you must understand automation. Those are the kind of things you are going to be working with. You are going to be working with automation tools. Automation tools that get to collect, to take all the stages I explained earlier. That will take stage 1 to stage 2, take the job from stage 2 to stage 3, take it to stage 4. So automation tools are going to be doing that. You are not going to be the one to click to do all those things. You write your script, you put it in on the automation tools, you write your pipeline, everything is going to be working fine. And you don't have any issue. If there's any issue at all, you have set up mechanism to give you instant feedbacks. And if things are eating the bank, you are giving alert with emails, alert, SMS alert, or whatever you must have put in place to call you if benchmarks are eating up. So that's how all this thing works. Another thing as a DevOps engineer is that you should have the knowledge of testing. Yes, testing is a very, very important part of the development life cycle. So testing has to be done from beginning. Every stage has to be tested, because you can't afford to push something that is not well tested out there for people to use. Bugs can cause a lot of problems. Yes, we have had, I think some of us must have heard about issues where there was a plane crash, Boeing 737 that crashed just because there was a software bug. So testing is very, very important, because it can even cost life if products are not well tested. So you should have some knowledge of testing, though you are not the dedicated product tester, dedicated software tester, but you have some scripts to do certain level of testing. And that thing is that you are going to be handling area of security. Yes, some organizations may have dedicated security expert or cyber security expert or whatsoever expert they use there, but you should understand the architecture of this security as well. And apart from that, you are going to be writing some security testing for this product at different stages before they move to the delivery or to the staging or to the production environment. You have to do your own part, which is actually separately different from what the QA team are doing. Apart from that, you have to also dedicate roles. Roles need to be declared. Roles need to be declared. There should be permissions that need to be set. And authentication for who needs to have authentication, you need to put all those things in place. So those are some of the tasks. And different jobs will come with different job requirements. Different jobs will come with different requirements. So this requirement will tell you, will be there for you to know what to do. So these are some of the tasks you are going to be doing as a DevOps person. So how do you make the switch to DevOps? These are some of the basic knowledge you must have. You should know one or two things about Windows. You should have some system administration skills, little system administration skills here and there on Linux, because some of the environments you are going to be setting up are going to be a Linux-based environment. So it's very handy if you have knowledge about Linux, so you can learn that too. Everything is learnable. Another thing is that you should have some knowledge about programming language, because some jobs require that you write some script or you do some coding test. So programming language is okay, but one thing is that you should not be scared, because you are not the one that is actually going to be writing the code for the software to work. Yours is just going to be writing script. You are going to be writing some content to automate your work. So here, learning Bash, shell scripting, Python is cool. And any one of these guys, shell or Bash scripting is okay for you to work with. Whatever you want to do with Python, you can achieve the same thing with shell and Bash. and your automation script is going to be there for you to use. Just as simple as that. Another thing is that you learn how to manage cloud infrastructures. Cloud management is very, very important. There are different cloud infrastructures out there, cloud providers out there. There's AWS, Amazon, there's Azure, there's GCP, Google, there's Alibaba Cloud, there's this, but yes, there's Oracle too. But there are major ones. These are three major. AWS is having like 65% of cloud infrastructure. Most companies, 60% of companies are using AWS, while about 35% are using Azure. So while about 15 to 20 are using Google GCP. So while others are I mean they are into others. So but what am I trying to say here is that you should put your focus on either AWS or Azure or Google, because those are the three major cloud infrastructure or cloud providers that are very popular, so that you won't waste your time probably learning how to provide infrastructure on Alibaba, and companies are requesting for AWS experts, Azure experts, or Google Cloud experts. So you should not waste your time on those minor ones. Your focus should be on the AWS, on the Azure, and on the Google. So another thing you must know with DevOps is containers. And the de facto in containerization, in the container technology, is Docker. So another aspect, which is orchestration, that you must know, because all these job gets to end up in the container. The container is going to be the actual software, the app, the APIs, the front end, the back end. They are going to be containers. They are going to be packaging containers. So these containers, for you to roll them, to make them work, you need orchestration tools. So the most popular orchestration, I mean, the most effective, or let me say the most powerful orchestration tool out there is Kubernetes. So there are so many orchestration tools. Yes, some companies use Docker Swarm. But if you are going to learn towards Kubernetes. So you have knowledge of system admin already. You are good, you are fine. You have some knowledge of basic programming. That is fine as well. Cloud management. For you to learn cloud management now, yes, with AWS, Azure, and Google, you have 1 year free tier experience to use them. You can work with them free without paying a dime. So you just don't set up things that are paid, but at least virtually a lot of things you can practice, you can train with. You can find them on AWS, on Azure. You can use them within a year without paying. You can use the server, you can use the drives, you can use the database, you can use different kind of things that are there. As a matter of fact, they even have IDEs. You can write your codes on AWS. You can push your codes there. You can even set up your functions to perform certain roles. In fact, you can write your app and push on some of this cloud infrastructure, and they'll be the one to orchestrate. This cloud infrastructure will be the one to manage the scaling up, scaling down of these applications. So coming back to orchestration is just like the driver for containers. So you package your Dockers together, you have understanding of Docker. You should have understanding of how to orchestrate this Docker to make this Docker be available for those who need it. So that is what you need to make the switch. That is what you need. So with this now, you can say, okay, you can look at it this way. Okay, I have experience of system admin. What I need to learn is Bash. Okay, someone who have this experience of system admin should already have knowledge of Bash and Shell. Well, that is an assumption. But if you have not been using Bash, you have not been using Shell, or you've not been using PowerShell, or you've not been using PowerShell, you've not been using Bash on Linux, PowerShell on Windows, then you can just work on that aspect. Then you'll be fine. So for the cloud too, you don't need to pay anyone. You can go to AWS cloud, register, then you start using the whole machineries that is there for you to use to learn it. And there's a lot of materials out there also. So these are things you need to know. System admin, programming, cloud management. some experience with work, practical experience with Docker containers and orchestration. So just 5 of them, then you'll be fine. Okay, just 4. So with 4, you've already made the switch. So with this now, you just have to eliminate those areas you need to work on. Then you are there. So let me move on to the next slide because I'm about rounding this up so that we can ask questions, we can interact with each other on this. So there are tools that are most commonly required to get a job in DevOps. There are tools. Like I showed you earlier, I showed you a slide where there's the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Stage 1, source code management. So source code management, the idea with source code management is version control. So there's something called version control systems. So the most popular version control system or facility or resources out there is Git. So focus your energy on Git. So Git is just a let me say a code repo, a facility where you can create code repo for you and your team to work with. So and it takes timestamp, it takes a commit stamp for every pull request and every pull match, every branch match. So these things are being done with Git. So what am I trying? I don't want to, okay, don't let me be too technical about that. What Git is just there for you to do is that when you guys have a project to work on, create a bucket. A bucket is just like a folder. This folder is what we call repo on Git. Create a repo. So everybody writes their part of the project. Everyone will write their part of the project and push to this repo. So what I'm committing to the repo, the code I'm pushing to the repo, it has number. It has record. The code Mr. A is pushing to the repo are being recorded too, are being versioned. Code Mr. B is sending to the repo are being versioned. So if there's any issue with any of these codes, so we know where the problem is coming from and we can undo at the same time. Apart from that, with Git, with a version control system, you can compare. You can compare, okay, this is what I'm pushing. This is what is originally there. You can compare the two. So if it is good with me, probably I'm the one who is merging the whole code. I'm at the top of the team. Probably I'm the CTO who is looking through this code, who is doing the review of this code. I can compare what you are bringing on board to what we have on ground. If this thing is good, is fine, then I can match. Then the whole process continues. So if you are going to learn version control, I would say, okay, go for Git. For continuous integration, there's Travis CI, there's Circle CI. Yes, a lot of us must have been saying Circle CI, there's Team Cities and others. But Jenkins is the de facto because with Jenkins, a lot of people are Jenkins. Jenkins is open source. Travis is paid. Circle CI is paid. But Jenkins, yes, you can do a whole lot of things with Jenkins without paying. You have a lot of plugins that are there for you to integrate easily and use freely. So another thing is the software development automation platforms. Yes, you should know things like Terraform, like Chef, like Puppet, like Ansible. So these ones, we call them configuration management tools. And we also call Terraform, CloudFormation, we call those ones configuration management, we call those infrastructure as a code. So these guys, especially Terraform is taking a stronger approach to the whole thing now. You have the knowledge of Terraform, you have the knowledge of Ansible, then you are good. Ansible is going to be doing configuration management. What's configuration management? Configuration management is actually setting up configuring software, configuring apps on these hardware infrastructures. Where Terraform actually provision the hardware, tools like Ansible, like Puppet, like Chef can push softwares, update softwares on the hardware. So, and that can be done automatically. So the advantage Ansible is having over Puppet and Chef, they are in the same category. But the advantage Ansible is having over them is that Ansible is an agentless configuration management tool. You don't need to install Probably you have 1,000 servers, or you have 20 servers working with you. You don't need to install anything on them. All you just need to do is just to use a SSH to get connected to this server, and you can spin up the same configuration, the same installation or updates on all the server, even if they are more than that. So that's the advantage. That's the reason why a lot of us would want to take Ansible over Puppet or Chef. So why Terraform is infrastructure as code. You can use Terraform to spin up a whole environment. You can use the spin up environment as big as you can imagine. And it will save you a lot of time because it works so seamlessly that you would enjoy working with it. So another advantage Terraform has is that you can use Terraform with Google Cloud, you can use Terraform with Azure, you can use Terraform with AWS, you can use Terraform with Blue Ocean, you can use different cloud infrastructure, cloud platform. So another tool here that I need to talk about is systems monitoring tools, because yes, when you have hardware running, you need to check on their health status. Demands are different from time to time. Okay, probably you are the DevOps engineer for who is managing Jumia. Whenever there's Black Friday, the demand is definitely going to increase. You don't want to start struggling with a service timeout. You don't want to start having problems there for 400, 405, different kind of errors like that, just because your system is being outstretched. You don't want to face problems like that. You want to set up mechanisms in place to check if these things are hitting the red level. So you get updates so that you can spin up to scale out. And when necessary to reduce costs, you can scale down. So that is why systems monitoring tools are very, very important. So the two you may need to look into is the Grafana and the Prometheus. So Grafana has its own family. The Grafana, the Kibana, all these ones works together. So they are monitoring tools that you can use. And some of these platforms, AWS and the likes, they have their own monitoring facilities too that you can work with. So why for cloud infrastructure? Yes, I made mention of that. Learn AWS, Azure, Google, you are fine. And for container orchestration, there's Kubernetes, there's Docker Swarm, there's Apache Mesos, there's OpenShift. People have moved from OpenShift. So there's Google Kubernetes Engine, GKE, AKS, EKS. All these KKK you are seeing, they are all part of Kubernetes. They are just like a version a version of Kubernetes. Kubernetes with Amazon is EKS. Kubernetes with Google is GKE. Kubernetes with Azure is AKS. Meanwhile, it is not just Kubernetes that do orchestration, not just Docker Swarm. With EKS, with Amazon, there's something we call ECS too. So that one can also do orchestration for you. And these guys are easy to work with. So these are the tools you need to learn. Base 4 or 5. Then you know where to shift your focus. So that is about that. So there's going to be, yes, we have trainings for DevOps in case someone is trying to like, okay, take it a step further. Yes, this kind of training are instructor-led with wide subject coverage and with real-life projects that can help you transition from wherever you are coming from to a DevOps person. So, but apart from that, if you want to do some further readings about everything I've shared with you, you can go to the Terraform.io website. For Jenkins, you can go to the Jenkins.io website. For Git, you can go to github.com. For AWS, you can go to aws.amazon.com. For Azure, you can go to portal.azure.com. For Google, you can go to cloud.google.com or type DevOps on Google. Then you are going to get loads of resources to work with. So let me move on for us so that we can go to question and answer session. We get to interact with each other on this. So again, on the DevOps classes, so it covers an introduction to cloud technology, source code management, Git, and GitHub is the main thing we talk about because that is what I enjoy using. continuous integration with Jenkins, there's containerization and Docker. With Docker, there's orchestration with Kubernetes, and there's continuous monitoring with Nagios. So that is for that. And for infrastructure management, yes, we work with a Terraform. We also work with a cloud formation. So, but some of these benefits comes along when you train with us. One thing is that we can help you by the time you are through with the training, or even while you are still undergoing the training and transitioning, we can help you put together a cover letter. We can work together on writing CV for a DevOps person. Those things you need to model around the CV you already have for those who are coming from technical background. So how you can tailor your CV to a DevOps person, because whatever knowledge you are bringing from wherever you are coming from, all those knowledge are very, very relevant. So they can be integrated with DevOps, with the DevOps perspective. So there's going to be video as well provided throughout the training session to support you watch later, so that you can pause, rewind, go through the whole process again so that you master it. And there are project sessions where you work with real life projects, you deploy, and you see how those things work. So you see the challenges, you see the problems, you solve them. We get to do them together, and everybody gets to be at the level that is desired. And fellowship, yes. One thing about DevOps is that it's a community. DevOps is a community, as a community here in Nigeria, as a community in different parts of the world, where experiences are shared, where facts can be, yes, where we can share opinions, where we work with each other. Because open source is also part of the DevOps community. Jenkins is open source. A lot of people are contributing to the community. People who are, a lot of us on Git, we have seen other people's projects that we contribute, and we have copied from other people's projects. I love people have copied from our own project too. So for the project you made public, you want people to contribute. So the fellowship is very, very important. It brings about connection. It brings about getting to solve your problem through someone else's experience. So those are the kind of perks that come with it. So this is the last stage where we get to talk about question and answer. This is the question and answer session. So for someone who has something to ask, if you have something in mind, so let's open it up for discussion. So please, if you have any question, please let us know. I'm ready to listen to your question.
Hello, Aziz.
Yes, Sunday.
Hello.
Hello, yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening again. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the presentation. It was quite resourceful. I got a lot of insights also. Yeah. So for me, I have a question I want to ask, which is, can you hear me?
Please speak louder, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, so I said thanks for the resources, thanks for the training, thanks for the information. I so appreciate. So I want to quickly dive into a question. Now the question I want to ask is this: is that how can you convince, take for example in Nigeria here, um, an employer that okay, this is what you can do, as a DevOps engineer. Take for example, if you are a web developer, oftentimes you have a link for your resume that okay, this is a website I've actually built, this is my work, and they click on that link and takes them to either the website and what's the functionality of the website, which oftentimes automatically convince them that okay, this is what this person is able to do. So take for example now with all these tools, orchestration, container, and everything together, how can you is this possible? I don't know that you can convince with a project touching that okay, you can convince them that I can use Docker, I can use Kubernetes, I can use what I've done with it in a project. I don't know if you get my question. Like
Yes.
for them to see that okay, this is oh this person is to do all this with Git. Okay, take for example, I can have a Git account, fine, beautiful. Yeah, so in that Git account, what will I have there? What are those things that okay that can really convince that okay, this person can do not just having a theory, not just having a resume, or maybe even online certifications from Udemy, have videos, watch this, but how I feel for me, I'm someone that also deep researches, but I want to see how can you cancel this area so that you can easily convince an employee that okay, this person they can have a confidence in you and give you an offer. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Sunday. Yes, if
Yeah.
you are in that kind of situation, there are so many ways to it. Yes, there are some employers that will actually send you a test to complete. So if you are being sent a test to complete, I can assure you that some of them will send you real-time tests. And I've received some of those tests before, and they can be challenging. So if you don't have the experience, you won't be able to complete the test. Send back to them to verify. That is one. And that thing is that for every project you are working on as a DevOps person, you are expected to have something in your GitHub repo where you remit all your scripts, your code that you are working with. So this can be like a reference of all the projects you work with. Okay, if probably you are watching a Udemy video, and this video is tailored towards a project. You should not just follow the whole process without doing the project. Once you do the project, you do implementation, you commit this implementation into your own repo. So your repo becomes your catalog where you showcase everything you've learned so far. And during interview is more like, okay, you asking questions, trying to walk through my experiences, what I've worked with, what I've done before. Yes, if I'm answering that right, and you want to see something to prove with, my GitHub repo is there for you to check. And if you're not doing that, employers, let me say interviewers will send you a test to work with. So that, I think that's, I don't know if that has answered your question.
Hello?
Sunday?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, yeah. So I will take it very, very serious, the Git part, so that I'm not just wilding away and everything becomes theory without having life. Thanks for the answer. I get your point.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
so
good.
I'll work with that.
So
I
everything you
appreciate
work with, you just make sure that you are committing things to your repo that you can always, even if it's small, make sure you have something to show out there. You have something to showcase in Git.
it. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. So any other question, please? Hello, is there any other
Hello,
question?
Aziz.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah, I have another question. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Very also because I've been finding ways to integrate quickly into being a DevOps. So I've been making concrete serious efforts on it. So I want to ask your training, how is it like? Is it something that you pass the information later to everybody after this presentation? Like the
Yes,
training we're talking about, with the mentorship, the training, and the costing, and how whether it's virtual, whether it's physical, and the rest like that. So one could be able to at least add that one to less at least to know what would be the overall cost and everything. That information will be passed to us, right?
yes, it's going to be fast.
Okay, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please, is there any other question from Babatunde, from Ibrahim, from Muiwa, from Theophilus?
Actually, I missed this Theophilus.
Okay.
I missed I think the last 3 slides before you came to Q&A, and I did send a message on the chat notes. I wanted to know what exactly it takes to do the switch, and I know particularly at the entry level for people like I'm into IT, but not core IT, more into sales, account management, stuff like that, not the very technical parts
Okay.
of IT. So if I want to delve into that, what are the courses, what are the programs, what are the things, at least for entry level, that I need to get myself involved? That was what I wanted to know.
Okay. Yes, I've run through that previously in previous slide, like
Yeah.
you noted. Yes, there are some of these things that you need to know. The system admin part of it, the bash scripting you need to know, the cloud infrastructure awareness that you need to have. Is I highlighted 3 cloud infrastructure providers that you need to be familiar with. And you can as well pick just one of them to specialize on: AWS, Azure, then Google. But with the popularity of Amazon, so that is okay. So another thing you need to learn Docker, which is containerization. Docker, yes, is the factor in containerization. Then you learn Kubernetes, so which is Docker, I mean the container orchestration tool. And you can take it a step further to learn Docker Swarm, because there's a particular company in Nigeria. There are some companies in Nigeria that use Docker Swarm instead of using. They are not using ECS. They are not using Kubernetes. They are using Docker Swarm. Some of them are financial companies. I don't want to mention their name because some of these companies have most of their resources on premise. So just few of their resources on the cloud. So those ones use Docker Swarm more and not Kubernetes or ECS. So what am I trying to say here is that these four things I've made mention of, these are the things you need to put your focus on, get to learn them one after the other, then integrate the whole process together, and you are going to be fine.
Okay, I think you said you're going to share some of this information with us afterwards.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So do you have any other question?
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
My name is Felicia.
Okay, Felicia.
I've been following this class from the onset. It's been eye-opening and informative so far. Just my question is, how possible it is for a person with a full-time job to like switch on the part-time to DevOps? Is it possible? Is it feasible? Or you just have to take it head on if you want to do it? And about the skill sets, like the cloud part, the programming part, this is something you can learn one after the other, and then everything simultaneously at the same time.
Yes. Okay, are you through with your question? Or you
Yes,
still have more of them?
I'm sure.
Okay. Yes, for the very first question, yes, you can transition to DevOps easily, even if you are working full time. Then probably you're going to dedicate some of your weekends to learning, because learning is very, very important. There's no two ways to learning with DevOps. So probably during the weekend you can decide to start. We don't know how long this COVID-19 lockdown is going to last. But if you take the step now, then when everything returns back to normal, you must have gotten to a stage.
Okay.
Are you with me? So you must have gotten to a stage. So it won't be an issue for you. So your second question, what's the second question again?
Yeah, about this other skill set, for you to be a DevOps professional, there are some skill sets you have to have, like the cloud part, the programming part, the system admin part.
For the programming part.
Simultaneously, or you must have had some kind of background in each of it before you can start out.
No, having a background in each one of them isn't a necessity, because I don't expect everyone to come from all the backgrounds we are talking about.
Okay.
Yes, somebody may come from a programming aspect, from a let me say software development aspect, and this person doesn't really understand networking, doesn't have, it's not let me say it's not an expert system admin.
Okay.
You get, so for somebody like that, you already have some things with development, with programming. You only need to focus more on the system admin. You only need to focus on network infrastructure. You give some focus to learning the cloud infrastructure, and even learning cloud infrastructure, probably AWS. There are things you need to put your focus on initially. Those things are much more necessary. Those things are vital. And for Docker, for Kubernetes, it's just for you to get the knowledge you need in other areas that you don't have the strength. That is what you need. So even if someone is coming from accounting, or the person is coming from let me say, sales aspect of IT. Yes, this person must have had one or two knowledge. Yes, the person will definitely have some knowledge about networking, have some knowledge about system admin, have knowledge about software. So all those knowledge are very necessary. They are essential. They are needed. They are going to
Okay.
help while you are gathering all this knowledge together.
Thank you.
Please, is there any other question, sir? Is there any other question?
Hello, Aziz.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry. Another question. The programming part for DevOps. For
Yes.
me, I'm actually I like Python
Okay.
because I've learned Python on my own, but I'm still working to move higher in Python. So one of my challenges is that for DevOps, you see that okay, I've tried to look online for DevOps, Python for DevOps. You see
Okay.
that I have to go there or say Java for DevOps or something for DevOps, one of these, or perhaps Bash for DevOps. Does it require that I need to still learn the things that has to do with what's it called now? Classes, objects, functions, like the way core programming is, or there's a particular aspect of Python just for DevOps alone? I don't know, just asking that question so that I can know how to channel my energy and know what I need to focus on. Why I'm asking this is because now you'll be working between developers and you'll be like the middleman, just as I said, and which is true. So you see that I don't have to bother myself much as to be a core full stack developer. Then I may have just focus on wherever the full stack guys develops, they give it to me. Then I take it up there, I deploy it to the cloud. I just focus on those aspects. I don't have to push myself for that to develop myself about the core things that is a full stack developer need to know. Or I don't know, I just feel that I'm just one asking is so that one will not have issues like take for example just come and say okay this is only what you can do, and you at the end of the day you say that it's meant for the full stack guys to work on this. You don't have to bother yourself, and perhaps they may be looking at you that I'm just limited. I'm just limited to only what a DevOps person can do and you can support or whatever. So that's one of my question.
Okay. Yes, for your question, if you are, I mean, let me put it this way: as a DevOps person, you are not a full stack developer, mind you. You are not a full stack developer, but you understand the structure of what these guys work with. You understand how their dependencies get to work together to make the software run. You don't need to know too much, go too deep into Python programming. Python programming, probably Python programming like Flask, or Python programming for any other product, whatever they are doing with this particular application. You really don't need to know too much about it. The only Python you need, yes, like you said, Python for DevOps is different. Your Python for DevOps, it's for you to spin up instances. If you are working on AWS, it's for you to bring down an instance. And these things you can actually do without Python. But you can do them without Bash script. So you don't need to be a core developer. Let the core developers do their job. But one thing is that you are not just a novice to whatever they want to do. But it's not your job to do their job for them. You are not the one to develop the front end app or to develop the backend API. What you need to understand in a case like that is that you know how those resources connect. These resources may be connecting through a name, a domain name. These resources may be connecting through port numbers. These resources may be connecting through IP addresses. They may be connecting through anything, but you understand how they connect and you need to help them facilitate how these things can be reached. So that is your job. So the programming we are talking about is just you have an idea of programming. You shouldn't work with programmers or testers and not know what, at least have the idea of what they are working with. Since everything depends, a lot of things depends on you. So you know the support, the libraries, you know let me say the back end, you know some of these things. Yes, that is what you needed. And it's just as simple as that. So if you are going into full stack is a core on its own. As a matter of fact, front end, which is actually a part of full stack, is a core on its own. Back end is a core on its own. Somebody who can be using React and is very, very good at React. I don't expect the DevOps person to be at that. Somebody can be good at Express, the back end of Express. Yes, that is his job, not your job. Let these guys bring their codes together. You learn these codes, check these codes with your tools. They are fine. Once they pass, compile them, test, move. Let these things move to the staging or the QA environment. And once those guys are good, you might have set up parameters to move them into production, depending on whatever you are working with. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Hello, sis.
Yes, Sunday.
Yeah. Thank you. You have, because someone used to send me materials for me to upskill myself.
Okay.
So sometimes she tells me, is my classmate in school, then she's into core development. So she tells me that DevOps really requires a lot of areas to know. The way you've actually brought them out, system admin area, the network area, so that area. I think I would just focus on those areas to be my core, so I can learn Kubernetes, learn those Dockers, because there are a lot of things as a DevOps. But that's why they're actually highly valued in the industry now. So I'll just focus my strength on that and not do a lot of things there, so I can master those areas very, very well. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So is there any other question from anyone else, please? So in the absence of any question, I think I want to call it a day. Thank you so much for the patience. Thank you for rejoining, even despite the whole issue I had initially. So thank you very much. I'm going to get one or two things across to you guys. If I can get this video too, I'll try to share it so that you can rewatch, go over it again. And if there's any question, you can always reach me. That's my personal number. That's my email address. You can call me.